M80 take the first map here. Now we're headed to Lotus to see if they can take this 2-0 or how this is going to go down. Bach, we're getting right into things here.
Wow, I don't really think we're going to get a whole lot of time to talk about this. This is M80's composition, but man, wow, they are just ready to go. They could not wait to get into the game. As we take a look at the agent comps, you know, we'll try our best to compare them to what we've seen. If I'm not mistaken, this is a composition that we've seen actually from both teams. So realistically, no changes coming in from either one, which is to be expected given the fact that we've seen these teams play this map more recently.
We're gonna let you take a break from analyzing her, Bach. We're gonna let the casters analyze this comp, this match. So take it away, you two.
Yeah, thanks so much. I was sitting here readjusting myself too. I was like, oh, we're gonna do some agent select, some map setup. We'll be chilling for a minute. No, we're right into the action. So yeah,
I want to congratulate our analyst test, Sierra, Bach, and Emily on a fantastic speed run. I mean, just
that's fair.
Bravo,
Yeah.
really. Not something that Des normally has to do very often, but it's great. But yeah, this M80 composition, exactly what I expected. It's my favorite because I get to see Nismo play Raze. It's one of my favorite things to watch, and he's up against a really dangerous fellow, Raze and Thule.
Yeah, 9Z is going to be playing the exact same composition as well as, first blood will be tallied up very quickly.
Here.
The bold sheriff purchase in the opening pistol works out for Rubkoida. And there will be only a little bit of extra forward pressure here from M80 over towards Rebel side.
Here.
It's definitely a map that M80 have a bigger resume on. 9Z have only played this map twice. Their last time, a massive loss of the guard in the group stage. So definitely not a map they are well known for, at least in official results. Not sure how things go behind the scenes or how they feel comfortable or uncomfortable with it privately. Obviously, good opening picked on this pistol round, taking down EU early. Qualu trying to stall it as best he can here on C.
Not going to stall out too much, though, as, actually, hold on a second. He does get one steps away. Opposite opportunity for more, but a stun does land. Nismo's paint shells does make things a little bit more interesting, but numbers will hold with 9Z. John looking to go quickly right through the dark cover, and the couple of kills from M80 are clean. Now it's just down to one. Rubkoida, last one standing. Spike doesn't get planted, and all of a sudden, it's just the offensive Jeff left.
30 seconds left.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That was,
I got
that was something.
I'll say.
Every time I thought 9Z were about to leverage an advantage, M80 immediately swatted in the back. John Cutie having perhaps the biggest moment of all with this push through Waterfall, grabbing that kill, stopping the spike plant. Now Rubkoida, not a lot of time on his side. He's in a 1v2. He's got a sheriff in hell.
Yeah, and almost catches John Cutie on low HP. The follow-up, oh goodness, runs out of ammunition. John's just dancing, but the reload comes through.
John's in the X Games, bro. He's out here trying to buzz 1080s. Fine time. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Let's reel it back in. So we talked about 9Z, not the biggest resume on this map, right? M80, on the other hand, have been dominant on Lotus within their region, right? I mean, 5-1 record overall for the year. They traded games with Oxygen. They beat Moist Moguls. They beat the Guard. Those were very strong NA teams, by the way, if you're not familiar. And, of course, they did have the win over Fusion in the group stage as well. They are great on both sides of this map and definitely come in with the advantage. Just trying to bring some level of normalcy after the shenanigans that we just witnessed.
Dude, I would have loved to have seen John Cutie's mouse pad when he was doing those little pirouettes into the side.
Right, he was doing a triple Lutz. I don't know if that's the right word or not. I'm not an ice skating expert.
What? With your figure?
Triple Sal Cal. I got the terminology. Just don't know what they mean.
Nismo, first blood. Rubkoida drops. More opportunities, though, as Nismo's going to toss him right at his feet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the blast pack is so good. Holy smokes. A little bit of reload action as well. Trying to stay in the action, and Nismo's going to get 3. Resets the paint shells. What?
What is happening right now, dude? I did tell you I love Nismo on Raze. I did tell you that. It is a beautiful thing. You don't get to see it all the time, but when you do, you always remember. You're like, man, remember those days? Remember Ghost Gaming, 2022, Nismo, Raze? Those are good times.
That is a silly setup with the paint shells blast pack combo.
Yeah,
wow.
He was on one there. Finally, a strong start for M80 today.
Yeah, true that.
Share of 5 for 9Z. Look at this.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is going to go back over to a light buy, and the bonus for M80 is going to be, well, it's going to feel like full weapons, unless someone can open up with a shot. You've got Dagara playing over towards the A side of the map, everyone else stacked up. And there will be an opening point of contact here as 9Z will get their way in towards site. Dash comes through. Ripcoida now playing with a little bit of elevation, but oh no, the SMGs, the ARs lock up for M80, and no one will drop at all on the defensive side.
Yeah, I was concerned that Xander was staying on site there. I thought he was going to get overwhelmed, but he got some help from Qualanoob in a big way through Waterfall, and he was also able to find one there with the Stinger. So they get the 3. Now it's just Dagara and David. Obviously, one of them has already been detected at main, and he has been shut down in every which way you can be. I mean, he's getting everything lobbed at him right now.
Yeah, sure is.
Enemy remaining.
And it'll eventually be John Cutie's sentry turret to get the credit for the kill. Paranoia lands onto David, who tries to back up in towards the back door, but not going to work out. A flawless round for M80 off to the races, 3-0 up.
Indeed they are. It's been kind of a weird start just based on the way that the credits were spent for 9Z, but now here comes the bonus round around late, so to speak, as it is going to be the full buy now finally for 9Z, and M80 are still sitting, I believe, on a couple of SMGs if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's been a fully upgraded arsenal thrown at them just yet.
No, I think there's just one rifle out right now, at least on the last round. And
2
no,
in
there's
the end.
2, okay.
Yeah, 2 in the end. Nismo and Qualanoob. 3 SMGs though, including a Stinger. And 9Z now they're fully bought. Time to go out fully torqued, bro. They are a team that is so fast-paced.
The thing is, you've got Qualanoob in a position to try to impede this play with the Paranoia, and it cuts across. No one really gets affected by it, but it does allow Nismo forward. Flash in his face doesn't matter. Blast packs backwards. Oh my goodness! What is Nismo doing?
I don't know what he's doing, man. He's feeling it. That's what he's feeling. That's what he's doing. That's what he's thinking. That's what's flowing through him.
Goodness.
I got nothing else for you. I'm kind of lost in the sauce right now, honestly. It's just been such an action-packed start to Lotus. We got to it very quickly as well off the break. And it has been just no stopping since. That's a good kill, though. That's going to lead to a spike plant. Perhaps. Mayhaps. Unless he's just trying to go for the dub. He is trying to go for the dub.
"30 seconds left.
Page triggered.
Are you scratching your chin, Shift? Wondering what's going on here? Is Shift here? The world may never know.
10 seconds left.
Spike is going to get planted here by Dagara.
Planted.
Immediate break of the trap wire, an immediate double swing, but Dagara collects them. Might see Ripcoida go ahead and pop the Blade Storm here with these upgraded pistols and try to make some magic happen. They are trying to run it pretty close to C. A little bit of a one-way has been set up on the entry to the site by Qualanoob. Again, if you're new to watching M80 because you're not an A follower, while Qualanoob is very much a duelist main, he actually does have a fair amount of reps on Omen, and in particular, he's been playing Omen a lot on this map lately, so nothing to really be worried about. As John Cutie with an operator, not something you see a whole heck of a lot, but every now and then he breaks it out. He actually does have a history of playing Chamber in the past, so he's used to sniping, so again, even he is not going to feel too foreign to the weapon. As he finds himself yet another there onto Ripcoida. Now he's earned the lockdown on top of it to really disrupt this B-site plant that's going down. As the spike will get planted, everything else is going wrong. Mizu finds a bit of an opening there, getting the headshot onto Nismo as they will be able to get off-site together to a link, but it's going to give time for Emmy to get on the site. They're going to be able to drop the Prowler and the Snakebite into the link area to provide some sanctuary as they try to go ahead and start getting this spike diffused. They're going to have coverage from John Cutie and EU watching this tunnel, but David still slips in the Sheriff headshot, and Mizu does as well. And now all of a sudden it's a problem, but John Cutie, he gets his one, he gets the second. That's a quad kill. 2 at the op, 2 at the Odin, and the defuse. And another Zenith clutch comes through for M80. It was Nismo and EU that were doing the bulk of the clutching in the previous map, but now it is none other than John Cutie joining them. It was a pretty wild ride. I thought this round was kind of done and dusted. much longer ago, but it wound up taking a clutch from John Cutie to get the job done in the end.
Remaining.
Mizu and David certainly gave it a brilliant effort with those sheriffs, but John Cutie not having it.
Don't interrupt.
As M80 continue to pour the rounds on here.
Sentry.
The timeout has not made much of a difference just yet. It's now Quadoob has the op on the Omen. Playing a forward angle here towards C. Will find his man right between the eyes of Mizu. And 9Z look a little bit deflated here. They're still trying to hammer away though at the site. Thule coming through with the showstopper. Does find Qualanoo that allows the spike to make its way on. Gonna be a 4-on-4 post-plant situation now. Nismo and company trying to attack through the back halls.
I know it.
Very quickly with the Prowler and the Boombot to help them grab some space, but we are gonna see the ult come out from the Gara for the info, but knowing's only half the battle when the frags are pouring in this quickly for M80. They've already worked themselves into man advantage here, but the girl is quickly swatting them back from the waterfall side. It's back and forth on the kill feed, and eventually Rube Koida finds the double. And that's 2 in a row now for 9Z. They're starting to find some life. Or rather, 2 rounds on the half, I should say, not in a row. Nonetheless, they will find success. The Gara, a big part of that. Not only his ult for info, but also the double he got to set up Rube Koida there. And honestly, winning in the clutch was something that was lacking for 9Z throughout the series. M80 always seemed to be getting the better of those moments, but now they're finally finding their own groove.
Scout destroyed.
We're seeing a little bit of a skirmish here over towards C. A bit neutral. It will fall. 9Z make the pivot towards A, opening the door. Xander playing up close off the snake bike. Will find Rube Koida. Thule tries to come in. He's blinded, but he still finds the frag, thanks to Mizu. John Cutie fights back, though, rather quickly, keeping the edge for M80. The spike yet to go down. Mizu finds another huge kill. Seeker's now out as well to get the intel. Counter Nightfall comes in right away. John Cutie good for another, and yet another. That's 3 on him for the round. He has had so many multi-frag moments, but we are going to see the ult away from David with the spike to get the plant. But he's still, at the end of the day, in a tough 1 versus 3. He knows he has to be proactive in a situation like this to have any hope, as he'll decide to push the back halls and try to wrap around Waterfall rather than playing on the site. They're all coming together, though. They're lining up, but this time they will not fall down. They will find what they need, and they will get this defuse. And so M80 right back on top of things.
Anyone have funds to spare?
It's back to shares only for 9Z, it seems. As I say that, we do see a Marshall get picked up by Rube Koida. It's been a tough half, though. A couple of ults are in play for M80, Lockdown and Viper's Pit.
Here.
As again, we have Shift still dealing with some tech issues, so I'll continue on.
Here.
Orb being collected here by Thule. Still a ways off the showstopper, though, but he does have a Guardian in hand. Rube Koida with the Marshall. Other than that, it is pistols. And the aggression from M80 through C is going to be fruitful.
Gun here.
The Gara down as M80 continue to build a massive lead here. Looking to increase it in this round. Of course, it was always going to be tough on 9Z with low weaponry. A little bit of a crack angle being held there by Xander. He does get tagged. He'll be able to get away, though. And Bach will join me for some assistance as Shift is gone.
All right. You know, we just keep getting reunited. It seems like I'm supposed to be your co-caster. We'll just boot Shift out permanently.
You're the co-caster of Destiny.
Yeah, it's just the way it's supposed to be. As you played Castle Roulette this season at times due to availability, but it looks like M80 is going hot on the retake. Nismo's popped the showstopper, but 2 quick kills coming in from 9Z. Makes it a little bit more difficult for M80 find space on the site, but it all falls apart as quickly as it began. It will come down to a 1v1. The nade is out, and EU has 7 HP, has to dodge every piece of the paint shell. Seems like this is more than winnable, but no! EU somehow hits the shot of 3K on the round, and 9Z is going to be scratching their heads wondering how they let that one slip away.
I mean, that happened a couple of times as well, if you remember, on Split. You know, M80 have just been winning the clutches somehow, some way. They just keep finding ways to dig deep and win rounds even when they're behind. Obviously, they haven't had to do that a lot this map, right? I mean, from start to now, it's pretty much been go for M80. You see 9Z fit a couple in here or there. This looked like it was going to be another one, but then EU, who had a big couple of moments in the previous map in clutch situations, finds yet another here, this time a true 1v3. Man, oh man, this is starting to look like this might not last too long.
Remember what we were talking about in the desk segment, though, is 9Z kind of mentally shut down in the series yesterday against the Guard after several consistent multi-kill rounds and clutches. And I'm starting to worry if that's going to be the problem for them here, is now that M80 has started to pick up steam, are they going to start falling apart? And as I say that, Rube Koida gets taken care of pretty quickly in the round by Koala Noob. And right away, that's a big piece of this attacking puzzle for 9Z that's missing.
Indeed it is. They're trying to make the pivot back over to B, as so often is the case on this map. When your initial plan goes wrong, B becomes the fallback plan. They are going to hit the plant, but they are a man down to fend off against this retake. They get aggressive off the back of that Trailblazer and get one, but Koala is so quick to respond to the of his own.
Last player
A pickup
standing.
coming in, but it seems like it's kind of just slipping away. Another round that was there. It was in their hand for a moment. It's up to Thule to try to save it completely and not prepared for the flank that's coming in from Nismo. M80 now find 8 rounds compared to just 2 for 9Z as they continue to slam the head against the wall of this defense that M80 has brought to the table here on Lotus.
And I mean, look, we know that M80 has a strong defense on this map, Baka, for honest. I mean, we've seen it all year long in the North American scene. You know, they had a 4-1 record inside North American Challengers. They were averaging, you know, 7 or more defensive rounds per half. They're near 60% on both sides of the map. In fact, they're near 70% on the attacking side of this map. So the fact that they're already this far ahead, and we know how good their attacking half has usually been, this is getting really scary for 9Z, Bach.
Let's not forget, too, that one of the best teams in North America when it came to this map was the Guard. They were pretty much lights out with the Harbor Viper combination they were bringing to the table. And they were only beaten by M80 in the finals, in the playoffs, 13-1. It was pretty rough. M80 clearly had the solution to beat them. And since that time, the Guard has actually copied the M80 comp and brought it to their play. So clearly what M80 does on this map is very, I don't want to say the word, strong. I almost said the P word, Dust. I almost said the word we shouldn't say. But it's
I said something earlier that was way worse than
powerful.
that. So.
We'll say powerful.
There
That's
you go.
the P word.
There you go.
It's very
I like
strong.
That.
And as a result,
yes.
9Z is having a hard time dealing with it, and it's no surprise. But I do believe your co-caster has returned. Shift, are
Which
you with
one?
us?
That was a mess right there. I have no idea what happened, but
Life.
Bach, you sound great. You look great. You always sound
is.
great. I know. Thank you for stepping in, man. I appreciate it. So,
Thanks.
Josh, I think it's only fair if I solo cast the rest of this game.
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just playing. Don't do that to me.
Yep, nope, go
You're a
ahead.
legend for that, though. So we're into an 8-2 tally. Trying to keep up with what's happening as Nismo will find first blood in a very key round here for 9Z. Trade does come out, though, so a chance still to play for this A
I
site.
know exactly.
As M80 are still a little bit stuck at the moment.
Trying to follow back up here with Thule with the showstopper. He does find Qualinoob, so they have found an entryway, and they do have an advantage. They haven't been in situations like this very often this half. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Spike goes down pretty comfortably. Still
Careful.
a decent amount of control over towards the backside of the site, especially with Mizu cleaning out the flank. So retaking this for M80, extra difficult, especially considering that all they have is snake bites at the moment. Spy cam will be deleted. Rest of the play will have to come down to trying to flush out this mountain position the hard way. And while the trap wire will be deleted, it's still one of those things of how do you make this contact. Sanders able to find the first, but no, nothing further. 9Z clean things up, and they win the must-win round.
think that's a fair way to say
Last
it,
round
too.
in
You
the
know, they
half.
need every round they can get at this point. But all their rounds have been on an island. They've never been able to streak them together. M80 has been in control this half from start to finish.
This goes
Up until
here.
this point. Really need this final round. There's no doubt about that. Especially when we know how strong the attacking side of M80 has been on average on Lotus. Oof.
Yeah, I'll say. Okay. So, can you finish off the half is the question here for 9Z. You get to 4, you start to feel a little bit better about your chances of being able to compete on this map in particular. Quick action, though, for M80. Already across, but flashed up as Nismo. He can't make good on the blast pack play. And the follow-up looks to be pretty swift here from 9Z. They get the first, they say, blades out, let's go. Let's try to get in this and take over this half completely. But the paranoia, ooh, hold on. Slows things down a touch, allows Xander to get into range with the judge, but the trade's too good, and 9Z will be in a 4v1. John, the last one standing.
Yeah, it just seemed like maybe we're going for a little bit
Spike
too much
planted.
there. Maybe just kind of feeling the half, feeling like they could get away with anything and wanting to change things up a bit with the big push, and it just didn't really pan out. 9Z will find the round as a response. So they will end with 4. They win the last 2 in a row, but they need this pistol.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
I know it's cliche. We talk about these moments all the time, but,
No, but it's
I mean, it's the facts.
Yes, I was going to say, that is literally what has to happen.
Yes.
And to be fair, 9Z's pistols have not been bad throughout the group stage so far.
True.
So there's definitely an opportunity for them to continue to kind of use that statistic as a building point for that narrative as our bear friend continues to sunbathe. Looks like a comfortable spot, if I'll be honest with you.
I'll tell you what, it's got to be better than where I'm at right now. I'm in the southeast U.S. where it's like 105-degree heat index. That's Fahrenheit, by the way. Obviously, if it was Celsius, we'd all be gone. You know, but still hot, put it that way, and humid. So I don't get to do much of what that bear's doing.
That's fair. Pistol shouts out. Couple of damage onto Rubkoida, but nothing further. As M80 will still kind of stack up over towards A, but they've got John Cutie playing up in towards where an alarm bot is actually, or pardon me, the spy cam is actually possessing over towards B main. And he's been known to hit this lurking route a handful of times. But the thing is, 9Z look very prepared for it. They've got a perfect crossfire set up for him if he does decide to wander in.
And they also have an aggressive push out through C mounts. They have a pretty good amount of information in map control right now.
Yeah, I'll say.
Meanwhile, M80 do take control of Rubble. As John Cutie still continues to lurk over towards B main. He's still trying to step in. Is he going to find a timing? Nearly.
Ooh. But a big shot comes through. Now, M80 looking to actually maybe follow up here, but decide the opposite. Boombot goes in. It keeps 9Z bit planted inside B, leaving Rubkoida by himself, but he can't make good on the contact. So we go into a 4v4. Spike will be planted here, and Nismo's going to go up the ropes with a little bit of support from Koalanu. And they're going to have an opportunity to use this one-way smoke, and boy, do they ever. All 3 kills come through, and now Mizu's by himself on the pinch.
Yeah, that was tough because Rubkoida got hurt at the very start of the round, if you'll recall. He never was able to get the Mizu to get healed with the regrowth, or if Mizu even purchased it.
Yeah.
Either way, M80 able to eventually find the weakened Rubkoida, double up on a heaven push off a one-way smoke, and put that one to rest.
And how cool of that is, pardon me, is that you look at Nismo, they pop open the side door, they throw the boom bot, it keeps 9Z planted for just a little bit longer to allow them to get up towards that rope side.
Yep.
It's all about the small things, especially when you look at this M80 team.
Oh man, you just made me think of Blink-182 immediately when you said small things. Just immediately, just straight synapse firing to that. Oh my God, Nismo, please stop. They have families.
He's feasting in this map, bro.
Nismo on Raze, boy. Tell you what. I tell you what.
Tell you who would. Paranoia allows regain for 9Z over towards Mountain. Okay, well used. Thule uses as a chance to take down Koalanu. Still, M80 are heavy stacked waiting for this peak, and Thule may give them a chance at it. And well, the Marshall, it does go awry the first time. It won't the second.
Oh my
Rubkoida fouls
God.
up, and Nismo is teeing off.
He's on the tips with the driver, sending them yards. Many yards. Did I do that right? You're the golf guy.
That was good.
Thank you.
Rubkoida may fancy an opportunity here to try to take the spike planter down, spam shots through that
Nearly.
environment. Xander only takes a little bit of chip damage. Nismo watching the flank. Mizu is going to have to check this. And if you know anything about how Nismo's been shooting so far, you feel like he'd be pretty good for it. Shot comes out a little bit too late, though. Mizu flashes himself forward. Rubkoida, difficult crossfire, and that's why. Paint shells will keep Mizu back, and this should surely be 10 rounds here for M80.
I
And it will
mean,
be.
what do you do against that haunt swing out with Marshall? I mean, there's just nothing you can do in that situation, really.
Yeah.
Nismo, 4 Marshall kills that round. What a bonus. Or I guess this would be the bonus, but 20 and 9.
I mean, come on.
Played.
And that's still 15 kills for Koala behind him. Like,
Yeah.
he's not just getting them all. It's still pretty even dispersion below him, except for EU, who's just been happy to be here.
It's been tough, man. I mean, Nismo and Quandu seemingly have the bulk of 9Z covered by themselves as far as frag count goes.
Oh, yeah.
It's been dominant. Oh, that's a great little exchange, though, for 9Z at C Mound. EU does get one back towards the opposite side.
Yeah. And Thule's kill was labored. He's on 5 HP, and that was on the other side of the map. So there are still numbers here for M80 to get on towards site. 9Z do have 2 defenders nearby, looking for maybe a chance to contest this, but you've got Dagara on low HP. Prowler's out. Koala Noob threatens early. Flash comes through. Koala gets the support of Xander, but paint shells do land. Okay, hold on a second. Thule is right in position to try to get this thing done. And talking about EU hanging out until now, he's in a 1v2 looking to clutch up for the squad. Tootie's on a single bullet. David is full HP with light armor.
Enemy remaining.
First contact is good. Punt.
Where are you?
Sent. David will destroy it immediately. Here's the check, and I think that shoulder says enough. Yeah, sure did. David's gonna have to try to play for this defuse. Toggles it, doesn't hold it. There's the check once again. EU not gonna be bamboozled by this. And now the hold has to come through. EU pops up, finds the 1v2. Another clutch for M80 to add on to the long list of ones they've already been able to secure. And M80 get to 11.
I mean, the clutches are just heading up, man. For the series overall, I think I've only really seen one clutch from 9Z, and I've seen so many from M80. Not only that, M80 have been finding wins from every which direction and form. In this map in particular, they have been dominant. This is more the M80 that we're used to seeing in North America. I will say this is another situation where, I believe it was both Dagara and Thule both low on HP that, again, Mizu not able to redraw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's 2 rounds now where that's been a factor.
It's very, very true. Right into the action, though. Once again, David Sheriff in hand playing very far forward with support, and he gets 2 for the 1. That's not bad at all. Nismo's still looking to get aggressive, dude. These blast pack plays from Nismo put him on a highlight reel. Holy smokes.
My brain just exploded. That was what those sounds were that I was making through my microphone with my mouth.
Dagara, don't do it. Okay, or do it. Okay, never mind.
Do it. Yeah, do it.
Spike planted.
Do again.
Careful.
Prowler out for EU. We'll see that Dagara has not made his way on towards site. There's the second check. Nothing towards drop. But here comes Rubkoida and Dagara for the 2v2 situation. John Cutie's got both nanos, but neither are down at the moment.
Player standing.
Oh, what a shot, though, from John. And he gets
Bye-bye.
the second. Come on. M80 on series point.
I mean, that's the thing about John Cutie, man.
Point.
He is not necessarily, I mean, as an IGL, he's more known for the shot calling, but actually in all of challengers for North America, he was number 7 in KD ratio, and he was on the top end for clutch percentage as well in his own right. So definitely a guy who can put up numbers, like as a quote-unquote fragging IGL, I guess you could say. And certainly made his presence known that round. Couple of big headshots there. Didn't even really make you have to do anything as Nismo get another multi-frag round, by the way. Now he has a showstopper. Map and series point.
Yeah.
8 chances to do it.
But 9Z is fully purchased with a showstopper of their own, so not out of it yet. But it's going to be a long road towards potential comeback.
Indeed, it will be. But it would be fun to watch.
It would be.
You had some casting to catch up on, so let's
That's
do
fair.
it.
Oh, this paint shell's even landing on the Mizu, though, plus the paranoia is in response on both sides, but Mizu does stay alive.
Oh my God.
Showstopper out.
What
That's
the-
sent deep. Showstopper's exchange, and it's Nismo who connects. Mizu's still alive, though. But he has to bail off. The Seekers will give him an exit, but M80 come on top of the trades. We got a 4v3.
The way that, dude, it is impeccable how I don't know how to describe this in words. I'm going to try my best. Nismo was able to find follow-up frags in situations that I don't understand when he's like just getting off of movement. For example, last half when he just got off of movement on top of rubble, immediately fires off a frag. That round, immediately after showstop when he's landing from it, immediately finds a frag on the quick flick. Like it's insane how he's able to do that so often.
And now you have to retake the site in a 2v3 against the Viper's Pit. The guard does have a neural theft if you can find a dead body. Here's the check. No, Nismo looking for the ace, and he gets it. Just the icing on the cake. Lights the candle. M80 2-0 the series. And, well, Nismo just goes God mode.
It's only fitting Nismo would finish the game with an ace the way he was playing that one. I mean, that puts him at, what, 28 frags for the map? I mean, if he's going to play like that, bro. Yeah, I mean, it was what, 13-4? So only
Something
17
like
rounds, 18 rounds got played there, and he got 28 frags. I mean, yeah, dude, that was just a bonkers individual performance from Nismo. Really no other way to put it. I think we said at the beginning of the game, and I think I feel pretty confident in it. Again, Nismo plus Raze equals good.
Well, it's funny because like I remember the reactions across like Reddit and like the VLR like comment thread when this comp came out. They're like, Nismo on Raze? And yes, Nismo on
give it
Raze.
to me. Give it more. Inject it into my veins directly.
Wow, unbelievable. And a statement has been made now across both of our two upper bracket 1 matchups. Fusion started off with 2-0 of their own. I don't think many of us had that going the way that it did. And then M80, they put together some good responses in the first 2 halves on Split and then never looked back here on Lotus. So quick things across the board here, Dust. I mean, this team is now going to go up against their NA counterpart in the next matchup. What do you think we're going to see here when it comes down to M80's presence in this matchup versus possibly, you know, what we've kind of come to know from the guards to this point?
I think we're finally seeing M80 settle into this event. You know, I think going into the event, there was very high expectations, and for good reason. They were clearly the #1 team in North America. They had won the midseason face-off. They won challengers. They won the head-to-head overall against the Guard in the end. I think 2-1 is the overall record between those two teams going into this. And so they had done everything that they were supposed to do to assert themselves as the favorite, so to speak, or at least the favorite from North America. But the group stage, when they lose that opening game to the Union, people started to question, oh, wait, you know, is the LAN going to impact them? Is these other regions actually, you know, better and they're going to prove to be able to topple M80? And I think M80 now, you know, are starting to kind of find their footing. You know, they still haven't beat one of the big Brazilian teams yet, but they have been able to at least look more like the M80 we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a big call. So with that, M80 cruise their way to a 2-0 victory and a matchup versus the Guard tomorrow. That does it for Dustin and myself here. Thanks for dealing with me, friends. Appreciate you guys out there. Hopefully we have that all squared out for the future. Thank you, man. I appreciate that more than actually anything else in the world. And with that, we send things back over to the desk with Sierra, M, and Bach.
Thanks. A little bit of this banger of a match. This was so great coming up from M80.
This is kind of what I think a lot of people expected coming into today. I think many people's expectations were that M80 was going to mop the floor with 9Z. I think that 9Z needed to win Split. Lotus was always going to be difficult. It's a map that M80 has proven to be incredibly proficient at. It's a map that is very much in their repertoire, and as a result, 9Z loses that first map, and then Lotus starts, and you kind of started to see what we saw from them in the previous match when they were playing against the Guard. Mentally starting to shut down. A couple of big clutch rounds, multi-kills, and all of a sudden things start to spiral. Players start to disappear, and individuals start to shine at a ridiculous level. You know, you can obviously see M80 with Nismo at the top of the charts. He's 28-11. Across the series, he finishes with 48 kills and 26 deaths. They played 49 rounds, so he's just under 1 KPR. An incredible performance from Nismo. You know, it's not like he played a duelist on both maps either. He played KO in the first map. He just completely stepped up, and his clutch performances were what grabbed rounds out of the hands of 9Z and gave them over to M80 and ultimately gave them the win on Split.
Holy, look at these stats of Nismo.
400
that is
plus.
Insane. That is insane. I mean, Nismo is just so inspiring to me. I want to be Nismo when I'm playing. He had multiple 3Ks, 4Ks. He even had an ace towards the end. And he did almost the same thing in map 1. I mean, this was the Nismo show. Like, he wants to take this all the way through. If M80 keep playing like this, wow, they are looking so strong. And I said this before, you know, the more and more that they're playing and getting comfortable with who they're playing against and being on LAN, they're just gonna keep getting better and better.
Yeah, if this is a M80 that's still adjusting, I don't know if I want to see them after being able to be in this environment for much longer, because honestly, what they are able to do here, just some of the plays coming out, just what Nismo was able to accomplish there was just next level.
And I know this might sound like a little bit of North American fanboyism or hopium. I think the playbook is a lot deeper for this M80 roster than we've seen yet. We've talked about it all throughout Challengers. The team has the ability to play at a higher level than we sometimes see just because they don't feel the need to do it. And even though individually here they stepped up, I think there are set pieces and strategies and executes that we haven't actually tapped into yet that we'll start to see as the playoff bracket progresses, now that they're going to be moving on further and further and closer to playing in for VCT next year.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit about 9Z, I liked how they were trying to adjust. I feel like they were adjusting a little bit too late on their attacking side. Everybody knows that M80 loves to do this triple aggression towards long C, and then one of the last rounds that they got, bringing it to 8-4 half, was, you know what, let's go full force ahead, and they just double flash, dashed in, satcheled in, and overwhelmed them. This is something that they needed to do a lot earlier on, but unfortunately they did it a little bit too late. So it just felt like M80 at the end of the day, because they won the first 2 rounds from both halves, it got to 10-4, and they were like, you know what, let's just close it out. It just seemed like a speed run after that.
We weren't the only ones speedrunning today. You know, they joined us along in our endeavors there. But in typical M80 fashion, they're going to be going full force ahead to be continuing on in the upper bracket. So congratulations to them on that 2-0 win. We are going to be sitting down with an interview with the man himself, Nismo, after a short break. Stay tuned. M80 to take the series 2-0 in a great second map. Even better performance coming out from Nismo, who we have on the line to talk a little bit about that. First of all, insane day coming out from the squad, especially from yourself. End off on an ace. It's the ACS through the roof. What's the secret sauce there? What'd you have for breakfast? How are you so good?
I mean, it's a Brazilian food, you know, and then at the end of the day, just drinking my dragon fruit before my game, which is my go-to drink. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The same routine as in when I'm in Canada, so it's the same thing.
All right, well, we're seeing you start to really pick up on LAN, which is super, super exciting. And going back to that first game, too, we got to see that 9Z were keeping pace with M80 for a little bit. Then you had this insane round, this 1v3 clutch. Do you think that was a round that was a catalyst, like the landslide, rock slide moment to start taking momentum there?
I mean, definitely when someone has a clutch like that, you know, it just gives a lot of energy to the whole team. So I think it was definitely a big kick for us to like just start coming back. And yeah, I could say that that was a big part of our win for sure.
And then going back to the group stage, things weren't too rough, but they were a little bit more rough than we get to see coming out of M80, getting used to the LAN environment. How are you and the team feeling at this point?
I mean, we're all feeling pretty good. You know, everyone's pretty confident. We're just getting used to it more and more. The more we play, the more experience we get. We just had a little trouble getting used to the white noise at the beginning, but everything is being sorted out, so everything is being better now. Again, just the more we play, the better we get, and the stronger we are, and everyone knows that in North America. So we know that as long as we keep playing more, the more experience we get, we'll come out strong for sure.
Well, it'll be certainly really exciting to be tracking going on through the bracket. So congratulations again on the win, moving on through that upper bracket. Good luck going on forward, okay?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As for us, it was a fun day over on the broadcast, but we do need to be pulling things to an end. So we're going to bring back our 2 analysts to close out the day. It has been such a fantastic day to be able to see these teams step up, Emily. We got to see fantastic upset match earlier, and then this match, we got to see M80 just go on in dominant fashion.
Dogs, when we weren't expecting it to be a 2-0 for Fusion, and I'm so happy that they did because I'm excited to watch this team do well. And then watching M80 just shine and play how we've seen them play throughout all this season. Has been incredible to watch, and I'm happy for them because in the beginning they said they were struggling a little bit on day one, and today was just another Monday for them.
Much like Vansili, I'm a relentless NA homer, but I also love the underdog storyline. So after watching Fusion win their match, I was like, well, maybe there's a world where 9Z finds success here against M80, and I thought maybe they would. They started out pretty strong on Split, but then it sort of fizzled out. And then, Lotus just goes the complete opposite direction. But still, looking at that first game of the day, Fusion looked incredible, and they're certainly a threat to be watched for in the bracket because they looked way more dominant today than they did through any of their group stage matches. And honestly, even talking to some of the other casters, talking to Dust, he was saying, I've watched their VODs. This team looks different today than even the team that played in LATAM. So it's almost like there's like a new level of play for this team that we hadn't yet seen, which is always exciting.
100%. And maybe you didn't get to see your underdog story with 9Z, but this is double elimination. So they're not out of the tournament yet. So bringing up our bracket and looking on forward, they just have a little bit more of a difficult run for things. But that's where we can kind of revisit that underdog storyline, though. Competition is so fierce because every team has said so far that, oh yeah, we're just going to keep getting better. We're getting more and more comfortable. Like, we are ready to play.
I mean, it's true, right? Every team is getting better and better, and then you're just gonna have to end up clean up all of the things. Both teams in BO3 will always make mistakes, if you think about it like that. It's the one that makes the least amount of mistakes that will come out with the win. So that's how it's going to be moving on forward in this tournament. Everybody's going to have to shoot their clean shots, make sure that they have their flashes down, their util down. Just everything is going to be down to fundamentals and keeping it to the basics and doing what they know how to do.
I mean, touching upon the mistakes too, a lot of these teams, maybe in their region, can get away with those mistakes. Like a team like M80 or the Guard, they have that individualism that allows them to escape making mistakes. It's hard to reset that when you get into a playoff bracket against teams that are also just as good, where those mistakes are then punished. It is a little unfortunate for us. We have a NA match right off the rip. We're going to see them send one of those teams as going down into the lower bracket. But you got to beat everybody at the end of the day. There's no complaining. You couldn't be upset if it's LATAM, BR, NA, because there's only one spot. So regardless of when it happens, at some point you could have to beat one of those teams if you want to make it into VCT next year. So at the end of the day, whether it happens now or it happens in the finals, it's got to happen.
It just means that tomorrow we are going to get some wicked matches. So absolutely cannot wait. We do have to wait a little bit for it though. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in. It has been such a fun day. Emily, Bach, y'all have been amazing in production as well. Make sure everyone to be coming back tomorrow. We're about to have some banger matches. But until then, have yourselves a great night.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.